This is going to be episode number 25, and today we're joined by Jalen Hill. Jalen is a Vegas native who's currently playing for the UNLV Running Rebels and going into his fifth year as a Division I athlete. Jalen, it's great to have you on.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
So first thing I want to ask you, Jalen, is just explain to us your life journey and kind of how you ended up in the position you are in now at UNLV through your basketball life.
Well, I started playing basketball from a young age. It's probably like first, second grade. Second sport, played T-ball first. But I kind of always knew I was going to be good. I was tall, athletic. Couldn't really shoot it back then, but I can now. Not as good as Nick, but, I can shoot it a little bit. But I kept playing, and around 6th, 7th grade, that's when I knew I could be something special, and I wanted to take it farther than just playing for fun. And my goal is to make it to the league. So every day I just work for that, and still trying to get there.
Yeah, well, we can't go the rest of this episode without giving Nick some type of discredit. I mean, the smile on his face that I just saw there, that might have been the biggest cheese I've ever seen from him.
I'm just glad it's finally getting acknowledged, because I know you two don't give me any credit. So
yeah. Because your summer league game, you had like 3 Division I hoopers, and you lost to the Plumbers of Southern Nevada.
Wow.
It was a rough game. Okay, we're gonna move on though.
But when he's playing against me or my team, he wants to hit like three or four threes. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true.
It's the scout team effect. You put on those scout team jerseys, 99 overall.
Yeah,
maxed everything.
Yeah, he hasn't seen me in a scout team uniform yet, but I'm excited for when he does. It'll get turned to a whole nother level.
I'm not trying to get yelled at.
Well, Nick, you did call me a couple days ago, and you said you shot like 5 for 5 the other day, and you shot 2 for 2 again. So I was going to ask Jalen, was he on your team or was he not?
Yeah, he was on my team for that.
He was on my team then, luckily.
Yeah. Okay, well that's good. That's good for you then, Jalen.
Exactly.
You won't get that often.
We'll stop giving Nick his flowers. Jalen, you got to play for a legendary coach in Lon Kruger. What's sort of your favorite moment or memory from playing under him?
I got a lot, but I think one of my favorite moments from him is actually when he got mad at us, because he doesn't usually yell. He's not a huge yeller, not very aggressive. But we're playing at Creighton my freshman year, and we're probably down by 6 or 7. They went on a nice little run, and he brings us to the timeout, and he's just pissed. I've never seen him snap a clipboard, nothing. He breaks it off his knee, yelling, all of that. I think that was one of my favorite moments, just because you don't see that from him a whole lot.
Last year, you guys played Alabama. You shut down number 2 pick Brandon Miller in a home win. Anything different about that matchup? You normally tend to guard best players on each team that you played. Anything different to prepare for a player like that?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's anything different, but, you go into the game knowing he's going to be a top 10 pick, top 5 pick, and he obviously went number 2, so it gives you a little bit more hype just to get ready for that game. Our coaches did a great job for or just letting us, giving us a good scout, letting us know what he did, and throughout the game, I was able to implement that throughout the game, and I was able to just shut him down.
Now, who's the harder guard, Nick Walters or Brandon Miller?
Well, I'll probably give it to Nick. Nick got a little wiggle. He'd be cross somebody up, step back 3. Just kidding, but.
Yeah. No, I remember watching that game. This was in January of this year technically. And more that stood out to me, I know you had a really good offensive game in that game. I think you had like 24, 26 points or something. But What stood out to me more in that game was just your defensive intensity and kind of how you just completely isolated Brandon Miller from that Alabama offense. And that's something that I really admired about your game. And I think you're going to help UNLV do that this year.
Well, I appreciate it. I take pride in that. My dad always called me young Scottie Pippen. I hated it because I wanted to be like Mike, but nobody wants to be like Scottie. But looking back at it now, my dad was right. I'm a two-way player, and I kind of do play just like him. So
I love that Dan's giving the kind words now, because if we get that inevitable UNLV Oregon March Madness matchup, it's gonna turn a switch real quick.
He's gonna hate it because we're about to whoop them
Yeah.
by 30.
Yeah, I can't sit here and promise that I wouldn't give our coaching staff the complete rundown of Jalen Hill, but I wouldn't give the complete rundown. I would just hint out points and things that, yeah, I would hit out. Okay,
What about
maybe
me?
your tendencies.
Would you give him pointers about me, or
You wouldn't be on the scouting report most likely. If you were on the scouting report,
Motivation.
I think it would just say he can shoot the ball. Period. There wouldn't be like a he's a threat with his right hand. It would just be he can shoot the ball. Period. I think that
Run
would
him
be,
off the line.
Yeah,
this is all motivation? It's fuel.
Run him off the line, attack on defense.
Look,
Get into switches, find early
attack him in the
post-ups.
post.
what's up with the
Get
Cheez-Its?
switches.
The what?
The Cheez-Its.
See it?
Yeah.
My snack box. That's what I got going on.
Better not let
Nick with
LB see it.
Cheez-Its.
Don't let
Nick
LB see
with
it.
Cheez-Its.
We're going to be running.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you'll see kids bring their ball around everywhere, bring their stuffed animal, their baby doll. Nick is always with Cheez-Its or Goldfish, anywhere.
Always says Cheez-Its. There ain't nothing wrong with it, though.
Yep,
Nick's a fat boy at heart.
I am. So true.
Going back to we were talking about kind of how you play, and you said Scottie Pippen. What other players would you say you most model your game after?
Well, growing up, I've always liked Bron, so I've always wanted to be like a player that's able to score but pass first. Kawhi Leonard's obviously one that I take a lot of pride in because he's a defense-minded guy who developed his game on the offense end. So probably those like three guys between Scotty, Bron, Kawhi are probably like three guys I watch the most.
And speaking of players who a lot of fans are adding into that conversation now, Hillbilly Kobe, AR-15, your former teammate Austin Reaves, who's killing it. I love his game, watching him in all the FIBA stuff alongside the best player in the league, Jalen Brunson. But what was Austin like in college, or any fun stories that you might have of him?
We have a lot of stories. I mean, we all knew that he was going to get to the league. I don't think a lot of us expected to be where he's at now at this point with a $60 million contract, playing with the Lakers, playing with Bron, having a great time on Team USA. But there was times where me and him both show up to the gym probably like 10, 11 at night and just play ones and just have fun, just talk it up, just chop it up and just have good stories, convos. And we built a good friendship over that, just basketball and just hanging out. Nothing much else. Like, he's a very calm guy, so he doesn't go out. He doesn't do too much. He just likes to stay very low.
You're obviously all of us are from Vegas. You're known well in the community. You've done a lot of volunteer work with coaching the young kids, and you go visit local cancer patients. What's your favorite off the court deed you've done in recent memory?
In recent memory, I probably take it back to 11th, 12th grade. Actually, I got to work with the special needs students at Clark High School. So just being able to work with them, it shows me a lot, just a lot of their struggles and how I can help them out, because not a lot of them get the opportunities that every single one of us do. So just being able to just go back, give back to them, and just seeing how much they enjoy the time they get to spend with us and just things like that.
Another thing earlier, you talked about your dad, comparing you to Scottie Pippen. I know a lot of people have dads that they look up to in their basketball journeys, and I know you especially have one. How important is your dad to your basketball journey, and what's your favorite basketball memory you've ever shared with your dad?
I think my dad, he's helped me a whole lot throughout my whole life. He's the one who got me in basketball. So when I was younger, he was my coach. He was my trainer. We just go to the park. We'd go walk around, just dribbling the ball at the house. He'd have to end up telling me to stop dribbling inside the house, get in a lot of trouble, get my ass whooped, son. But it's okay. And So me and my dad just grew a bond over that. He played in JUCO, and he obviously wanted better for me, and he saw better, and so he's always pushed me throughout my whole life. But I think one of my favorite memories is the first time I beat him in a race, and we're running at like the Target on Eastern, and we're running, and I'm looking to the side, I'm beating him, and he just falls. So I think that's probably my favorite memory. It's not basketball, but it's something competitive because at that time I couldn't beat him in anything yet, and I think that's one of the things that just sticks out to me.
How old were you when you beat him for the first time? Do you remember?
Probably like 5th grade. So
we all have those moments where you finally beat your dad at something. It sticks with you.
Yeah, it was even funnier just because he fell and tumbled a little bit. So it just made it for a better story.
Well, I just had a vision, and I know he's probably listening. I kind of want to see a DJ versus Dan race. I feel like that would be awesome.
I would love to see it.
Well,
I might take DJ too. I might take DJ.
I think DJ might have a good three steps on him.
I think in his prime.
Are we talking 40-yard dash or like
40-yard
sprint?
40
in his high school baseball prime, I could see that leaning his way. But now with the breathing issues, I think that would probably lean my way. But I was gonna say the first time I ever had a memory like that was beating him in 1-on-1. I think it was like 7th or 8th grade because he used to always just post me up. Everybody, you three know I was very little. I didn't grow until I was like 16, 17. So I was like
18,
5 foot as 18, 19 really. So okay. But it was like when we were like 12 or 13, I think. And it was the first time I ever beat him in 1-on-1. And I remember that specifically because I wanted to beat him so bad. He had beat me so many times, and he would like post up to beat me. Or he'd hit like a mid-range. He would never shoot outside of like 15 feet, just post up. And that would anger me so much. So I remember the first time I beat him was probably the greatest moment, maybe of my life. You could ask him. It might be the greatest moment of my life. It was awesome. And you could ask him. He will tell you, yes, that I was super happy that day. But that's probably one of the greatest moments.
Well, I'm just glad that DJ was able to pass that torch to Nick and I, and now you can go after us, your other two fathers.
That's insane.
I will say
that's insane.
I remember my
Nick.
moment.
Him and I have had some competitive one-on-ones.
We do.
Now
okay.
he's at the.
I will say Dan becomes an elite shot maker when we play ones. It's just something like there's some step back fading threes. There's like post hooks that I've never seen from anybody, and Dan pulls it out. He cooks. Now
because those ones, it's whoever gets the ball first.
I'm winning in those that series. No, that's true too.
You couldn't stop a nosebleed with the Hoover Dam.
It's competitive though.
Oh, it was 4-3. Last time we played, Nick won. We played a 7-game series. He won 4-3. But we were playing outside for some of those games.
Yeah, he always likes to.
In an indoor hoop, it's going to counteract because you'll make more shots. I'll make more shots. I don't think it really matters, but I'm proud of myself for getting to 7 games. I'll say that because you're a pretty good player. I'll give you the props. You're pretty.
We haven't played. When was the last time we played? We've been playing twos in a few times, but we haven't played ones in like a year, maybe a year and a half. Might have to get a PPP episode out there. Me and Dan 1-on-1.
Ooh.
You also put cameras.
I think a lot of our followers will take you in that. I'll be honest.
GoPros, play with GoPros.
Play with the GoPros on, or a camera on your chest, so we can see POV.
The POV.
POV. Most of the time, it'll just be one person. It'll be Nick blowing by me on defense, and then the other time it'll be me shooting a post fade or a 3-pointer over him. It won't be much. Won't be much movement out of my chest. I'm not.
There ain't no dunking.
I'm a very mobile player, but
if there's a loose ball chance, you might see a slight rim grazer from me. Everyone knows that everyone has their 2K dunk packages. Mine are the free ones. Mine are the top. They say free. Rim grazers off 1. That's the only dunk package I got. Jalen, I wanted to ask you, what was your welcome to the Big 12 moment? Might have been freshman, sophomore year.
I think I got 2. We were playing this isn't Big 12, but it's like my welcome to college moment. We're playing at Wichita State, and Eric Stevenson, he went to West Virginia last year. He was previously at Wichita State. He was cooking us. I swear they're like 15,000 deep in Wichita, Kansas. I've never been outside. It's like first big game, and I didn't expect anything. It's Wichita, so to walk in there, 15,000 students at their stadium, and they kicked our butt by 20, 21. I was getting cooked on defense, offense. Not much I could do. And then my welcome to the Big 12 moment is we're playing Kansas at home, and David Azubuike hits me with the screen. And I'm pretty sure y'all know he's like 7 foot, probably three, close to 300 pounds. I got bruised. I wake up the next day, got bruised ribs, and that was the worst feeling ever. Never again getting hit by a screen by a big dude like that. Hurt.
Yeah, no, and speaking on hopefully a lighter note, what was your favorite memory in your time at Oklahoma?
Probably my sophomore year when we made it to the tournament. It was the bubble year, so for us, like we really couldn't do much. So it was really just only basketball for us, and I think that was like one of the best experiences. Is you get to just focus on basketball. Like school was on the computers. We didn't have much to do, so we just go to the gym, do our schoolwork, go back to the gym, and we made it to the tournament. We were the third best team in the conference that year. And I think it was just a fun experience just being able to go there, and that's hopefully where we're trying to get back to this year.
Yeah, and obviously this year, coming back home, what was the decision like, or your decision-making process in terms of deciding to go pro, other schools, versus ultimately settling at UNLV?
Well, I think first and foremost, my whole goal is to go pro, so I put my name in the draft, and just wanted to see where I was at. I got some good feedback from teams. I got to work out with the Grizzlies and the Bucks. So between those two teams, I got really good feedback. Just trying to work on my shot. Just went through the whole process, and then once I figured all of that out, and it was really between two schools that I was going to go to. It was UNLV and Arkansas, and Arkansas. It was very, very tempting, but at the end of the day, I wanted to be close to home. And what Kruger and the staff told me here is I felt like that I can believe and trust them and do great things under Kruger. And hopefully we get back to this tournament. Or not hopefully, we definitely will.
And yeah, talking about that, I wanted to ask, this is actually a question for both you and Nick, because you guys are obviously both on the team. So I'll let both of you guys answer this one. What are your personal goals for both each other and this year for your team in the Running Rebels?
Okay, I'll go first. My goal for Nick is to come in and get a dunk during the game. You need
that's
fast break and yam it.
it's a tall task. Just so we're clear, in high school, I don't know if you remember, Dave, but I tried to dunk and my knee gave out and I got screamed at. I got benched the rest of the game. It was like so traumatic for me. And I was like, I'm about 185 now. In high school, at that time, I was probably 150, but I was like 6 foot. I was light, and I got a dunk in shoot around. And so I was like, I'm feeling bouncy. And I had an opportunity in a game. My knee buckled, and I like hit the bottom of the rim. It was so embarrassing. And we get in the locker room at halftime, and he just rips my butt, bro. Like, we were up 22, like, and I got benched the rest of the game. So traumatic experience missing a dunk. So I don't know if we'll see a dunk, but possibly could see a bucket.
No, I need a dunk.
Oof, okay.
If you dunk, I will take you to a nice steak dinner the night after. Okay.
Okay. Deal. Bad.
That's fair.
Perfect. That sounds good.
That's fair.
I don't really have any personal goals. My like personal goals is really just to like help the team in any success like that I can do. So like I know my role, I know what I'm there for. So doing that to the best of my ability is the best thing for them and for the team. So it'll bring them the most success. I feel like on all teams, if you embrace your role and you know what your role is, you stay consistent in that role, it'll help the team maximize their potential.
Most definitely. I also think this isn't a personal goal, but like our team goal is definitely to make it to the tournament. It's somewhere we haven't been since 2013, I believe. So just trying to bring the community back to UNLV basketball, get the fans back in the stands. I think by getting to the tournament, winning games this year, we definitely have a great non conference schedule. That some of it's already been out. Still more to go, but I believe that if we get to the tournament, that's a huge thing for us, and win a couple games too. Not even just get there. We all saw what FAU did this last year. Nobody expected it, and nobody's gonna expect us to make a run. So I think that's our goal.
Absolutely. You talked a little bit about, your main goal is to go to the NBA. We always tend to ask this question to our guests just to see like their perspective. Where do you kind of see yourself, in 10 years and, later on in life?
Well, in 10 years, I want to still be playing basketball in the league. Hopefully, if I keep working, that all works out. Even if it's overseas, I just want to play basketball for as long as I can. So hopefully that's for another 15. Hopefully I don't stop playing until like I'm 38, 40. But everybody's body is different, so I guess that's still to be determined. But after that, I kind of want to come back to Vegas and settle down, give back, help out the youth, maybe start a team out here um, for disadvantaged students out here, because not everybody has the opportunity to showcase their talents and stuff like that. And I also want to open a nice big basketball gym. I feel like we don't have a huge 15 court gym that we can use for tournaments.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think outside of like Tarkanian basketball and like LVBC, there's not really a good gym for that. And even then, like Tark only has 4 courts, and the LVBC has like 3 courts or 4 courts, I think. So that's a really good proposition. I'd love to see that as well.
Me too. South side, right on the south side. They don't need to be nowhere else.
One last thing we're gonna do. This is a little different for the PPP. We've never done this before. Usually we do a storyline of the week that's obviously basketball related, but today we're going to switch it up and we're going to do football related because on Thursday starts the new NFL season, and so we're just going to go around and all of us we're passionate NFL fans in here as well. I think we all have our own teams that we may believe in higher than the average consensus of other NFL teams. So I just want everybody to go around and give their Super Bowl predictions, and then maybe give one team that we think is going to surprise a lot of people this year. So whoever wants to start.
I can go. All right, Super Bowl predictions. Jalen's going to like me saying this. I think the Eagles or Niners, it's going to be one of those two teams, but I think it's going to be the Eagles. And then in the AFC, I have the Bengals. I have Eagles, Bengals. There's going to be another. I think the Bills beat the Chiefs in a AFC second round, and then I think the Bengals beat the Bills in the AFC Championship, and then I think Joe Burrow cements himself and wins a ring this year. Jamar Chase, give me eight catches, 127 yards, and a tutty, and Super Bowl MVP. That's my bold take. Shocking team, Lions, Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, I would bite a kneecap off for him. Absolutely. They're going to go 11-6, shock some people. They're going to beat the Cowboys in the first round, and then the Niners or the Eagles will take care of them. We're going to get this is bias. I'm a Lions fan. We're going to get a first win since 1991. I've seen them in the playoffs one time. Dan has that over me. He got to watch the Cowboys beat us one time that I've seen it in my lifetime. But we're gonna make the playoffs this year. We're gonna shock some people.
That's fair. I think the Lions are good, and y'all are in a division with the Bears and the Packers.
Packers, Vikings.
Yeah, so I think that y'all can surprise some people. I think my shocker team for the year is they made it to the playoffs last year were the Jaguars. I just think they have a really good team coming back. I think Trevor Lawrence develops more, becomes a top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league. and I think they might win it. I think they win a game or two. I think they can surprise people and make it to the championship, AFC championship. I can see them beating the Bills. I'm not a huge fan of the Bills. I think they're good, but I think they're very beatable. And then I can see them playing the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs make it back to the Super Bowl again. And I think it's going to be a rematch with the Eagles coming back on the other side. But this time it's going to be a different story. Patrick Mahomes throws like 2 or 3 picks, and the Eagles win 42-20. I'll say that.
Ooh.
Got to have some confidence. So, fly Eagles
Bold,
fly.
but it's definitely possible.
Possible. I just think Patrick Mahomes is just too good, though. He's probably the best quarterback I've ever seen play, and I hate it because he played against us last year. And Travis Kelce's on the team. They got a really great team and support system around him. So,
All right, I'll go next. My Super Bowl prediction, as much as everybody in here and probably people that are listening that know I'm a Cowboys fan want me to say the Cowboys, I can't say the Cowboys. I just every year it's the same thing. I've even as a fan, it's just it hurts. It really does because I have had moments in time where I've gotten my hopes high, and I do believe we can make the NFC Championship, but past that, I don't think we.
no.
I don't think. Okay, we were one game away from it last year, and the
And
Tony
then,
Pollard controversy injury. I'm not going to get into that though. My shocker team for the year though is the New Orleans Saints. I think people are really underrating them. They're in a super easy division with the other 3 quarterbacks in the division being very unproven, and Desmond Ridder, Bryce Young, who is the number 1 overall pick, but I just think the Panthers are too bad of a roster. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield. Derek Carr is the most proven quarterback in that division. I think they're the best roster in that division. And I think they make the playoffs, and I think they could win a playoff game. I don't think a lot of people are looking at them much as a contender. So the New Orleans Saints will be my team that I think surprises some people. They have a lot of talented guys. Chris Olave is a really good wide receiver that I think could have an all-pro type season. So they're going to be my shocker team. My Super Bowl prediction, it will be out of the AFC. I'm going to go the Kansas City Chiefs again. It's really boring. I want to say the Bills, but I don't trust them in the playoffs. They haven't proven that they can do that yet. And I think it might be – I really like Jalen's take of the Jaguars. I could see it being an AFC championship with the Jaguars and Chiefs, but I just think the Chiefs are too good. Mahomes is on that deal. It doesn't matter that they don't have a wide receiver 1 because Kelsey is their wide receiver 1. I think the Chiefs make it out of the AFC. And I think out of the NFC – I'm going to go with the 49ers. And the thing is I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, but I think if the 49ers stay healthy and Brock Purdy's healthy and that team is fully healthy, they might be the best roster in the NFL. So I think a Niners-Chiefs Super Bowl is what we get, and I'm going to say the Niners end up winning that. The Niners they have a top 5 player in every position outside of quarterback, and I think Brock Purdy gets the job done this year, Mr. Irrelevant. He's perfect for that system, and they just have everything you want outside of an elite quarterback. Every other position's filled. So the Niners will be my Super Bowl champions.
when was the last time a team won without an elite quarterback, though?
I mean, if we count Joe Flacco as an elite quarterback, the Ravens won about a decade ago.
Nick Foles.
I wouldn't consider him elite.
Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Nick Foles is a perfect one, which actually was on your team, Jalen.
Yeah,
so Nick
he
Foles
was.
is a really good example. Your guys' team was
He had
incredible.
an elite season, though, when Michael Vick got hurt. Who was it? Carson Wentz got hurt.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I think that Niners team's so unbelievably talented, and they got to get it done one year, and I think this is the year.
that's fair.
All right. Well, my sleeper team, I'll start there. The Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith revitalized his career. I don't know what voodoo doctor he went to, but props to him. DK and Lockett were already a top 5 to 10 wide receiver duo. They had the best rookie wide receiver in the draft. I don't know how you guard the 3 of those. Kenneth Walker in the backfield. Then they improved their defense from last year, have great young corners. I think they could surprise some people, be the highest wild card in the NFC and get a dub or 2. As for the Super Bowl, these are both crazy. They're not crazy because it's going to happen, but these are both bold takes. I'm going to start in the NFC. I wanted to say the Eagles, but prophecy needs to fulfill itself. You got Micah Parsons off the edge. Add Stephon Gilmore to that secondary. Finally made the decision to go to Tony Pollard. Dak, chip on his shoulder, year to prove. I have America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, making the 2024 Super Bowl. But like I said, prophecy must fulfill himself. And as Stephen A. says, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. You got Hard Knocks. You got Coach Saleh. You got top 5 quarterback of all time. Throwing it out to Garrett Wilson, young Devontae Adams, improved offensive line, and that defense. I mean, the mean green, whatever you want to call it, machine. Sauce Gardner, I mean, how can you hate him? CJ Mosley, Quinnen Williams, DJ Reed. People don't want to say it. The Jets are legit. And who owns the Cowboys? Aaron Rodgers. And he destroys Cowboy fans' hopes yet again as New York is partying like it's 1972. They get a Super Bowl in February. We'll call him the Prince of New York, Aaron Rodgers, brings one home for the Jets. And then come June, the King of New York, partying like it's 72. The last time the Knicks and Jets won a chip, and it's going to happen this year.
Wow.
There's I can sense no New York bias in any of your takes. We don't think I didn't hear Jalen Brunson, the best player in the league. Like, we didn't acknowledge that, but that was crazy. That was a crazy thing to say.
Well, I almost shed a tear over here in happiness when he said that his Super Bowl prediction in the NFC was the Cowboys. If we made the Super Bowl, I legitimately, obviously I'd want to win. But if we got there, just to be there. Like, if we lost by 30, to just be there.
Spoken like a true loser.
I would be. It's not a true loser if we're playing in the big game.
If I'm in the Super Bowl, I want to win. It's a failure if you lose.
Obviously, I want to win. But if we're there, I mean, seriously, if you wouldn't understand unless you're a Cowboy fan, truly how painful it is. If we were to actually make it,
I understand. I've never witnessed a playoff win with my eyes. I've never witnessed it. You think I don't understand?
But you don't have risen expectations on you every year.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
the hate that we have.
You guys are the most hated team. Everyone enjoys a Cowboy loss. Everyone does.
Yeah. But there's a reason for that, because Cowboys fans are arrogant.
Cowboys fans also...
Most of us are, for sure. I believe I'm not...
Yeah. No, Dan's not one of them. He will talk, though. Like, He's not arrogant, but he'll talk some stuff.
Talk about they gonna win the Super Bowl. This is our year. Every year.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I said, hey, you listen to my prediction. I said the San Francisco 49ers were going to win. I didn't say the Cowboys were going to win. But I did say NFC Championship's a possibility. I do believe that.
I just don't think Dak is good enough.
I don't either.
I don't believe it.
I think you guys picked up Trey Lance for a reason.
Because he thought it was Patrick Mahomes. That's why.
They think they can develop Trey Lance into the next Patty. They think Dak is washed up.
See, this year, it's an important year.
It's an important year for his career. I will say that. If he has a bad year this year, he might be done.
He might be gone. He might be on the Raiders next year.
Mm-hmm. Might have a Derek Carr situation, benched the ending of the season. Could see that too.
Yeah.
I hope for it.
The Chargers doing good though too.
Yeah.
I love Justin Herbert.
And they had he was injured a lot last year, so
yeah.
Herbert, it was just Chargers were a mess last year, and they couldn't really do anything about it. So I think that's a good take as well. Jalen, we really appreciate you for coming on, and we gave our listeners something else to listen to with football. We haven't talked about that yet on the podcast, so you're here for a special episode there.
Appreciate y'all. I really do. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
All right. And as always, PvP out. Peace.
Deuces.